starts with Coach Beamer, from guys wanting to play for him and the way he's treated them, and he's genuine, and if they're told something, he follows up on it, and everything he's told them in recruiting, they've come here and lived, and that's made a big difference, because I tell people all the time in recruiting, a lot of nobody's better. It's kind of like at a restaurant, nobody's better than the person that's eating there, going around telling everybody how great the restaurant is, and I think that's what's happening here with Coach Beamer.
So appreciate it, Jody.
Hey, Jody. Dave Cloninger with the Post and Courier, man.
Yeah, Jody, Wright. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Austin Stogner.
Yeah.
We've heard a lot about it, but he wasn't actually here until just, a
Yeah.
few weeks ago. So what's he brought? What are your immediate impressions of him?
Austin, the first thing I would say about Austin is he's a great young man, great family, very mature, but he's come in day one and just been great as a teammate. But his size, you can't help but notice him. And like I said, I always like tight ends I have to look up to. I don't like him if I have to see eye to eye with him. But he's been great, very smart, picked up very well on the offense. He really came in, asked everything our strength staff, football staff we've asked him to do. He's done it this summer, really worked hard, and is showing up, and I think he's going to have a good, great fall for us.
How relieving is it to have a guy who obviously knows what he's doing? You don't have to teach him a lot outside of your particular scheme. And then to have Jaheim as well coming off that. I mean, just how relieved are you?
It's really good not having them in the spring, and I messed with Coach Beamer, Coach Stogner at Oklahoma, so he'd been coached up really well. I hope I don't mess him up, but Austin, though, has been great, and Jaheim, with the talent and skill sets he has, and like we had a meeting a while ago, and Jaheim can do multiple things with his multiple skill sets, but also I think he's embraced trying to get better at the little things, whether it's blocking, it's ball security, different things that is going to help us win football games. But the good thing about that room, Nate Atkins, Stogner, Jaheim, Trey Kenyon, Chad Terrell, Jesse Sanders, they've all embraced playing multiple positions, the tight end on the ball, off the ball, and that's the good thing about our offense, Coach Satterfield's offense. It's easy to move those guys around, and they've had great attitudes. Nobody's ever been, I'm starting. It's kind of like, hey, whatever I need to go in there and do, I'll go do. So I think it's a special group.
Jody, we've heard the comparison already. You're going to use Jaheim like Deebo Samuel. Now, that's a hard act to follow, but how accurate can it be? How much can you guys do and use Jaheim like the Niners do with Deebo?
Well, I think Deebo Samuel, there's a reason he's going to be one of the highest paid players in the NFL and his career here, and I don't really compare them because they are different, but they're both strong, athletic. They both make plays with the ball in their hand, and they both line up in multiple positions and can. But I think, trying to get Jaheim, just like I tell them all the time, focusing on being the best version of Jaheim, and hopefully as a coaching staff, we feel like we're going to put him in those positions every week. But I hope he plays like Deebo Samuel, but I think he's like all our players. We feel like we've got a lot to prove. Coach Beamer does a great job of keeping everybody grounded and saying, guys, hey, at the end of the day, we haven't done anything, so we're going to get everybody's best. It's the SEC, but with Jaheim, like all the guys in the tight end room, we expect them to make a lot of plays to help us win football games.
Appreciate it.